our next topic, we're going to get back to the Myles Garrett trade request. And before we talk about whether or not the Browns owe it to Myles to send him to a Super Bowl contender or not, I do want to mention some of the financial ramifications of the Myles Garrett trade, just so when we talk about these fake trade proposals and everything we talk about regarding the Myles Garrett request in the next coming days, we have at least this baseline. I am not going to lie and say I'm a salary cap expert. I only know what I read and what I trust from people just like Jason from the Over the Cap website. Does
anybody know his last name? I reference him all the time. I don't know what his last name is.
But he's widely regarded as good as it gets in terms of the cap. And he tweeted this out. Okay. And I just want to mention this because it plays a role in all of this.
Yeah.
Jason from Over the Cap said, just to run a quick scenario, but prior to adjustments, the Browns would need to restructure Watson and Denzel Ward to the fullest and cut Jack Conklin to trade Myles Garrett. Doing all of that would leave them with likely between $2 million and $7 million in cap space, depending on where the cap lands. This would leave them in a Saints-like situation. Really, outside of those three moves, there is little they can do besides extending Newsome and then June 1sting some players so they can sign rookies. Doing the math on this, the better option is probably extending Garrett and coming up with a dollar figure that would make him happy to be part of a rebuild next season.
Yeah, but if he may not be willing to do that. Now, they can't force him. Obviously they can't force him to, or he can't force them to trade him, but they also can't force him to sign an extension. And, who knows what he's going to do, whether he'll hold out or not if it gets that. But trading him will not be easy, as Jason says. We've said for years, as long as the owner's willing to keep spending money, the cap doesn't matter. In this case, it does.
Very much so.
In this case, it does. They've extended so many guys already. When you keep failing with your moves, eventually it's going to catch up with you. And if they feel like at some point here that they have to trade Myles Garrett, they may not feel that way now.
Do you think it's fair that let me ask you, because we all be talking like fire these people. Do you think it's fair to fire them and put the next guy and have to deal with this?
It would have been easier to do that. Like you could sell.
But it ain't. But think about it. They say, G. Bush, we hiring you. What are you going to do?
Well, but that person's going to get at least a little bit of a pass initially.
Because a new person can always come in and say, listen, Myles, look, those guys didn't do you no favors. They made a mistake here, 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 and here. I want to hear what your input is on where this team needs to go. Like, this is the problem. The Browns be so G14 classified with their mum on stuff, they've gotten to the point where,
what move can you make?
There's nothing they can do
this year that's gonna make him. That's gonna put you in close to the Super Bowl.
So here's what you do.
Please, GM Bush.
So here's what you do. You go to Myles Garrett and you say, listen, what you want to do? You want a quarterback?
He said, I don't want to be here no more.
No, you done.
You
can't let a player.
Whoa! That's what got you here to start with, boy.
Wait a minute. He just said, let's say he come to you and he say, Garrett, there is nothing you can tell me that makes me want to stay here.
Okay, so here's what I'm gonna say. Well, help me help you.
Okay.
Where's the list of places you want to go?
Okay.
Huh?
Okay.
And what I want you to do is I want you
should be. I'm sure that'll be coming out soon.
So what I want you to do
his preferred destination.
I don't care. I'm trading them wherever I can get the best deal.
Here's what we're gonna do, and then we're gonna say that.
Yeah.
If you want to be out here, help me help you. I give you and your agent fair warning and free reign to negotiate the best deal.
Okay.
If you can get us 3 number 1 draft picks.
Oh man.
All right. Well, speaking of which, Mike, set this up now so we can get it.
Yeah, so now we have the financial ramifications all set. It's difficult.
See?
Yeah. The question I want to ask you guys is, do the Browns owe it to Myles, who said in his trade request letter yesterday, I want to compete for a Super Bowl. So do the Browns owe it to Myles to send him to a Super Bowl contender, or do they just go make the best deal possible for the franchise?
Do you know what league?
First of all,
do you know what league this is?
I just was talking about.
Do you know what league it is? What are you talking about?
They own nothing.
What are you talking? No, they're not. No, they don't. And they're not going to.
There's a couple of places
because they be petty. Like, why would we Why would we trade you to the Kansas City Chiefs and they picking 31st or 32nd? Like, that's going to do
the really bad teams are not making this kind of trade either. It's a mid team.
Yeah, like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
I'm not trading you to Cincy.
There are I guess 5 or 6. There's a couple of rules here. First of all, you're not getting traded in the division.
No.
So that eliminates the Bengals, the Ravens, and the Steelers.
It's a lot of Super Bowl contenders you just kicked out.
Bye. We're not trading you to the Chiefs.
It's only 5. Okay, so it's only
That's
4.
4. You're not doing it.
It's only what, 7 make the playoffs? What about the Bills?
We may think about trading you to the Bills.
Okay.
Because the Bills, they've lost so much that their heart is hurt right now.
Okay.
They'll be willing to give up something to get to the
What are you willing to get back from them?
That's a late.
I want ones.
I have a Bills trade proposal coming in the next topic.
Well,
I don't think they're trading him in the. I think if he gets traded to the NFC.
Hey, my landing point, as I said yesterday, is the Dallas Cowboys.
I just don't know if Dallas would be. Jerry is low key cheap.
Well, Jerry is low key old.
He is low key.
Do you want to see another? That's low key. Do you want to see another ring, or you want to just sit up here?
They didn't get a running back.
Is DeMarcus Lawrence off the books now?
I don't know.
I can look that up.
It ain't like he can take it with him, Bull. And by the way, if the Philadelphia Eagles win, you can tell him, Jerry, the Eagles won in the division.
I do think the Cowboys are a possibility. I think the Packers are a possibility.
Yes.
I think the Rams are a possibility. The Rams may look at the Rams are an aggressive team.
I got the Rams in the trade proposals too.
And I think ideally you want to trade him to
part of that trade
to a team that's good but not really could still be a mid-tier.
Would you trade Myles Garrett to the Rams for Cooper Kupp in a 1?
No. But listen, we'll get to the trade proposals in a sec. The point
Cooper
is,
Kupp's old.
You gonna give me Puka?
Do they owe them?
You Puka?
Nakua.
You crazy?
Nakua.
They ain't giving you Puka?
So we all agree.
Puka in a 1, I'd do it.
Yeah.
We all agree. They
Matt
don't
Stafford.
owe Miles
No.
anything in terms of.
They don't own Myles Garrett.
Okay,
No.
I just want to make sure we're all on the same page.
I hate to tell
Now, one
everybody
thing.
it's a cold world in the
They're not
NFL.
trading him to another terrible team because another terrible team's not giving up first round
Right.
picks.
There's only about
Myles
10.
Garrett.
It's only about 5 or 6 teams that is even
makes sense.
legitimately
It is,
that have the cap space, that have the assets, and that are good.
It's a cold
Right,
world.
good enough where they
know where he
think
gonna go?
Myles Garrett could be the difference.
Miles is going to go to the Las Vegas Raiders
No, then why would they do that?
because Pete Carroll loves a good pass
Well,
rush.
you know what? Do it. I'd trade him to the Raiders. That'd be the best team to trade
And
him
the
to.
Raiders look like they give up picks a lot. I feel
do.
like
They've been trying. Well, they got Max and Miles.
Max Crosby and Miles.
Yeah.
And they got Christian Wilkins.
And guess what?
And they drafted Tyree Wilson first round last year.
And we trying to fleece them for the number 2 pick. Go ahead and get Shador. We want all your picks. We want the Myles Garrett picks and them Shador picks. We gonna trade for you.
No, I want what's his name?
Who you want?
The tight end.
You can't.
We're not getting him.
Dang,
They ain't giving
boy.
him.
That's
I
a
would like to
mad.
get
That's
that.
a mad trade. I'm disappointed.
You know
in
Kevin would be all over that. I would give you Njoku and the 2.
I mean, Brock Fowler, I'd take him over any tight end in the league right now. If I'm starting a team, I'd take him over any tight end
So
in the
you
league.
gonna take him in the first round of fantasy next year?
Probably not.
No, not first
Probably
round.
not.
Because
Probably
tight
not.
ends don't put up crazy numbers.
He
but
does. He do.
He did.
he probably will.
He was averaging
He's going to
a dub a week.
They got to have a quarterback first. But look at the numbers he put up with no quarterback.
Who was their quarterback this year?
It was
Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew.
And Gardner Minshew, yeah.
Yeah. No, they're not. They're not going to trade him.
No.
They don't owe him.
This what I would do. I would trade. I say, Miles, I trade you to one of them teams. I trade you to the AFC. You get them to take Deshaun with you.
No team.
Then
you get nothing in return.
Deshaun with you.
Then you get no picks.
Then you get no picks.
Yeah.
Then you get no picks.
Myles Garrett and Deshaun Watson for a 7th round pick.
Then you get no picks. But no.
That would be the funniest graphic in the history.
Oh my God.
Do you know how much that's a death sentence?
Take Deshaun.
But here's
We
the
need
thing.
him off the books.
I'm telling him, and I'm honestly telling him, listen, he's with Clutch Sports. Tell Rich Paul, listen, go out, find the best deal you can. I'm giving you opportunity to shop a trade like it's basketball.
Get us LeBron back.
And we want the most possible back. We're going to start this conversation with 3 ones. We are willing to capitulate and go down to a 1 and 2 ones and a 2.
I don't think they get that.
But here's the thing. What I need is, if he won out bad enough, he's going to work for me.
Let me ask
he's
you
going to
this.
work to get that deal.
Let me ask you this.
You're going to work.
What if he come back and say, I couldn't get you 2 1s and a 2, but I could get you 1 and 2 2s? You taking it?
So
1 and 2 twos.
here's the
1
thing.
and 2 twos is
guys- You guys mentioned
So the 1 and 2 this year and the second next year.
Mike.
That's
Did you
nice.
mention the not Von Miller, the
Khalil Mack.
Khalil Mack trade?
He got 3
Yesterday,
ones,
yeah, we talked
didn't
about
he?
it.
Okay.
And we have one of the trade proposals from Cleve TA was based off
Yeah.
that. When we
Now
get to
Khalil
those
Mack,
in
like Myles Garrett's better than Khalil Mack, but Myles
Mack
Garrett's
was
2
2
years
years
older.
younger.
But I think Myles Garrett. Well, not I think.
I think
Myles
he gets
Garrett's
a little
definitely a
more.
way better player.
Boy,
than
you
Khalil
taking
Mack,
that
so.
1 and 2 twos? First and second
Depends
this
on the
year.
team.
First and second this year and the second next year.
And
I'd rather have.
Let's say it's. Let me just throw.
No, I am not trading Myles Garrett unless I get a 2026 first round pick.
Yeah, I think that's the most important.
I want that.
So you don't want the.
100%.
So you want the one next year, not
No,
this year.
I want 2 1s.
Okay.
I don't.
don't know
I
if they
want
could-
2
I don't
1s.
think they're gonna give them 2
I'm not
ones.
getting. No way I'm getting a third. I want 2 1s and then some mid tier picks.
The way people get traded out, I just don't see people giving up that.
I
like
would
that
if
no
you
more.
gave me a 1, 2 twos, and a 3. I'm
What
good.
Because it was
I'm good.
Did Brian Burns go for 2 1s?
No, he didn't go for it. He got just
was
second.
free
He
agent.
just signed.
Yeah.
I thought. Oh, they was trying. The Rams was trying to trade like 2
And
ones
the,
and 3
the
ones.
Rams had offered a first and something for Burns. They didn't trade him at the time, and then he ended up getting traded to the Giants for a 2024 second round pick, a 2025 fifth round pick.
You kidding me?
Yeah, that's it, a second and a fifth.
So
But then the Giants had to sign him to that big contract. After.
Myles Garrett is. There's no comp recent since Khalil Mack at
Khalil Mack's the
them.
closest, and it's not even a perfect comp.
Right.
and
And they got 2 1s and a 3, but they gave up a 2, and there were some late.
now
picks involved.
let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
If they do move Myles Garrett for whatever compensation,
Yeah.
what do you think that does to the possibility or the likelihood of them trading this year's number 2 pick? Is it higher or lower or the same?
Would depend on what they get.
Yeah, it depends on the return.
Because I look at it this way: if you're gonna trade Myles Garrett,
You're in a rebuild.
You're in a rebuild. You
So
might as well go trade that number
yeah.
2 pick.
I think
I trade the second pick. Go ahead.
I think they're less likely, and here's why. Because they either like one of these quarterbacks and they're going to take them, so then you'd stay at 2.
Yeah.
Or they might be thinking, well, we're going to take a quarterback next year, so
Abdul Carter.
I guess
Travis
your
Hunter.
thought is, well, if they're going to take a quarterback next year, we might as well get as much ammunition as possible. However, what if we can already get an elite young wide receiver, Travis Hunter? Remember the Bengals drafted T. Higgins. Mm-hmm. Well, that was the same year as Joe Burrow, but
and
then they went with Chase the next year. So let's say in theory they draft Travis Hunter. All of a sudden you draft a rookie quarterback in 2026, and your 2 wide receivers are Travis Hunter, Jerry Jeudy. That could potentially be really good.
And you get some picks, or
Who's
because
quarterbacking this year?
Well, hold on.
Who cares? I don't care, honestly.
What you mean? Do you know how miserable we gonna be this fall?
I know.
Hey,
We
listen.
gotta come in here in the fall.
I will take.
Yeah.
Tyrus, I will take. They got to take a quarterback regardless. They're gonna have to take one.
Jackson Dart.
Third round. They might
You
have
know
to
what?
They might have to get one in the second round.
Give me Milrow. At least it'd be fun to watch him
Take
run around.
Milrow, bring in Andy
It'd
Dalton
be fun
to
to
work
run
with
around.
him.
At least it'd be exciting to
There
see
you
somebody
go.
scramble.
Oh, you got some
Wildcat.
trade proposals.
We got some trade proposals after a quick word from FanDuel. Super Bowl 59, one game, 2 teams, endless possibilities, and there's no better way to make every play more exciting than with FanDuel Sportsbook. Whether you're predicting the first touchdown, who will take home the MVP trophy, or the coin toss, FanDuel makes it easy to place your bets and feel the thrill of every moment. With live betting all game long, you can jump into the action, adjust your bets, and ride the wave of excitement from kickoff to the final whistle. Plus, to make the Super Bowl even sweeter, new customers can score $200 when they make your first bet. Just place a $5 bet, and if you win, you get $200 in bonus bets. Download the app or head to FanDuel.com/UCSS and bet with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of Super Bowl 59.
You know, if it happens, Becker's going to be so annoying, but I'm kind of rooting for the Eagles because I just hate the Chiefs now.
Why do you hate the Chiefs?
I'm sick of them.
Let's get to these trades, though,
Hey, let's-
because we got some other stuff I want to get to
this
tonight.
Let's get to these trades.
So there's 5 of them.
Yeah.
I came up with 1.
Yeah.
I took 4 from people around Twitter, some people we know, some
Just
people
random
we don't
dudes.
know. That got at least some traction. with the thought of, okay.
But are they media members or random dudes?
Cleve TA is the first one, so
yeah,
some media,
Cleve TA is. Even though he's not in the media, but I consider him in that
category. One's from Chris Thomason of CBS.
I
think one's from a fan.
Of course.
But basically, I wanted to take all the different scopes of ideas to show you how no one really knows what the actual value is going to be, and some of these feel more realistic, some of these feel super unrealistic. The first one comes from Cleve TA, who based his trade proposal off the Khalil Mack deal from a few years ago. And in a similar instance, Cleve TA proposed Myles going to the Cardinals along with a third-round pick
I like Trey
and
Benson
a
too.
2025 sixth-round pick for their first this year, which is number 16, their second this year, which is number 47, and their first-round pick in 26, plus Trey Benson, the running back.
Now, the only difference between this and the Khalil Mack trade was, in that case, the Cardinals or the team that traded Khalil Mack was
The Bears.
The Bears. No, the Bears got Khalil
Well, the
Mack.
Raiders.
The Raiders got the second-round pick, and the Bears got the third. So that's a flip-flopped. That's because Myles Garrett's better.
And he said, based off that, this is what I think.
Right. And then Trey Benson instead of, I think, a fifth-round pick or whatever it was. That's a great trade. I like Trey Benson. He didn't play much.
They said he didn't do well.
I'm in for that. I think that's realistic. I don't think that's crazy.
So you ain't got to even convince me on that one.
I take that one.
I think they might not be able to get that second. I think maybe you'd have to take that out.
Listen, and if they want that, forget it. We're gonna do it like Madden. Oh, the bar ain't green enough. Hold on. I'm gonna take that 6 and put a 4 in there.
Yeah.
You want that 4th? Deal.
Let's go.
All right, so that was from Cleve TA. This next one's from Chris Trapasso, who works for CBS Sports.
Yeah.
He proposed a trade with the Bills, who, according to the 33rd team, are the betting favorite to land Myles Garrett. Take that however you want to take it. But he proposed Gregory Rousseau, their young pass rusher who's due for a new contract, this year's first and next year's first for Myles Garrett.
How good is Gregory Rousseau?
His stats this season, and part of his explanation was he thinks Rousseau can get $20-ish million a year. Not a bad player by any means, but he would rather give up the picks and get Myles Garrett and the bona fide production of Myles Garrett over Rousseau, who had 8 sacks this season to lead the team, and he is 24 years old.
Yeah, I mean, at least a solid pass rusher and 2 first-rounders. Now, the problem with that is, the Bills are that's going to be a bottom 4 pick this year and going to be probably a bottom 4 pick next year.
They're gonna have.
You have to take that, package it up, and then move up.
I'd rather not trade him to the Bills.
Yeah,
I really don't want to trade him in the AFC unless it's like the Raiders or something like that.
If they want, if the Bills want, I'm going to use all the leverage in the world. Listen, Josh Allen is. You see his face in these press conferences when you keep losing to Mahomes.
Yeah.
The only way you're going to get that sold is if you get Myles Garrett. Give me some more.
By the way, another part of the TA trade that I like.
They be scarred by
is that the Cardinals are. To me, a perfect scenario, realistically, is a mid-team in the NFC.
Yes.
Because a bad team is not going to make that trade probably, but the Cardinals are a mid-team in the NFC.
Yeah.
So that first-round pick next year is, could be a decent pick.
Yeah, it's a mid-team.
Yeah.
I like it's realistic because the Browns do put something with it. They get the 3rd and that 6th-round pick.
Yeah.
This is by far the best for me.
Yeah.
If the Bills wanted to come to the table and was serious, they're gonna have to give me another pick.
Yeah, I do.
Because I got it.
Rousseau's a good player.
I mean, it's 2 firsts and a good play.
But I got to deal with this man.
But that's true. That Greg Rousseau, didn't he go first round?
Rousseau was a first-round pick. He was the 30th pick in 21.
See, but my thing about the Bills is they a little scarred because the reason that they had to cut their whole defense is because they traded for Von Miller and paid him that money.
Yeah.
And they probably you're a little hesitant the next time.
They might not do it. All right, go ahead.
Next one comes from Tyler Johnson. He covers the Browns for a website. He also does an Ohio State podcast. You've probably seen his stuff. Yeah. He proposed a trade with the Vikings. Myles for J.J. McCarthy, Jordan Addison, and their first-round pick this year.
Vikings are not making that trade.
Did you see?
I would take that trade.
Did you see how Sam Darnold played in the playoffs?
They're not trading McCarthy.
Addison. Hold on. It was delayed shock.
Once again, I put all these in there to show you the wide range of what people think you would be able to get from Myles Garrett.
If Minnesota willing to do that, I would take.
Yeah, but you know Minnesota wouldn't do that.
No, they're not. But I would take that trade though.
Yeah, of course we do it. But
wait a minute. What was the first at this year?
This year, the 24th overall pick, plus Addison, who is a very good, promising young receiver, and McCarthy, who could be good, could be terrible.
Why would? Yeah, I mean, we don't know about McCarthy, but the Vikings.
If I made that trade, I'd take Abdul Carter at 2, and we gonna roll 24. I take a tackle, and let's roll.
Man, come on, they ain't doing that.
You could go G. Bush Operation Stockpile, have Jordan Addison, Travis Hunter, and Jerry Jeudy.
Oh, I'm going. Give me Travis Hunter. Yeah, and
if you made that trade, and you'd have McCarthy with 3 good, 3 potentially good
Cedric
receivers.
Tillman out of it.
Oh, Cedric.
Forget Cedric. Give him back to the Vikings. Trade him to the Vikings in that deal.
Cedric Tillman is.
But there's no way the Vikings are making that trade.
I don't think the Vikings.
No, the Vikings is never taking that.
Tillman is celery at BW3s. That's the side. That's the side.
Sam Darnold had a heck of a season. There's no team saying that's our Super Bowl quarterback.
Hey, remember Case?
Now McCarthy might not be either, but
Case Keenum did the same thing with the Vikings like 10 years ago, and lost in the playoffs. They thought he was going to be
It's so crazy that we was at a point where he was like, yeah, man, Darnold's not even going to hit the free agency. They going to franchise him or they going to re-sign him. They're not letting him walk. We seen them last 2 games. They
Confusion.
He ain't coming back.
Now he'll be starting from somebody next year.
Back here.
He'll be starting somewhere next year, no doubt, and somebody's going to pay him good money.
He really lost that money like that.
Oh yeah,
I think he'll still get paid.
It wasn't what he was supposed to get.
No, it won't. No. Go ahead, Mike. Next.
All right, so this next one comes. This one everyone crapped all over. Just a heads up. I put it in here because
Is it Cooper Kupp?
No, the Rams one that I came up with is next. This is not this one. This is a Titans fan blog that came up with a Titans trade for Myles Garrett. I found so funny.
Do the Titans got anybody?
Just wait till you see this. I found this so funny. I thought it was worth including. Steve, let's see it. How about Myles Garrett and the number 2 pick for the number 1 pick? Their second round pick this year and a 2026 set. This is from Charm Sports NFL. This is not mine. I thought it was so funny it was worth throwing in there.
This is why they be trying to fleece people.
Why would
we do that?
That's essentially trading him for 2 second-round picks.
Why would
I do? And we swap in one spot. I mean, is Manning in this draft? Is Jeremiah Smith available? What are you talking about,
dude?
I told you this one was, I thought it was funny. I wanted to put it in there to show you the wide range of trades.
Yeah, that's absurd. All right, let's just move it on from that.
All right, Steve, you ready for the next one?
Who is their best player? The Titans?
Nobody.
They're
Nobody.
I like that young running back they have. He's a decent player.
Tajay Spears.
Yeah.
And when Bull don't know your name, that means it don't count.
Yeah, especially your skill position.
Skill. If Bull don't know your name, you're
they ain't got no pass
Tajay
rusher,
Spears.
linebacker, corner.
No,
I don't even know. They suck.
They have Will Levis.
All right, so before I show you the last trade I came up with,
He sucks too.
and this next one that I actually came up with, a couple other teams that you could have put deals together for.
Yeah.
San Francisco, they have the 11th pick. They're in a win-now mode. Potentially, San Francisco could be in the market for a pass rusher. Steve Becker's texting us about the Eagles. G, you mentioned the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys.
What is he offering? What is Steve Becker offering?
What's
I'm just saying that they're a team that.
Give me Jalen Hurts.
Again, it's a late pick. I'm
just throwing out other teams that could.
those.
Be in there.
Listen, Steve.
Give
love
us
you. Eagles fans are the worst fans on the planet. Philly fans are the worst fans. They're so obnoxious. They hate Jalen Hurts. Trade us Jalen Hurts.
The trade is the Browns receive Bryce Huff, the 25 first-round pick, 26 first-round pick, a third-round pick, and the Eagles get Myles Garrett.
Forget Huff. You upgrade that to Devontae Smith, we'll take it.
Oh, they're not. Yeah,
All right, so here's the last deal. This is the one I came up with. I was looking around to find the team I thought made – or fit a couple criteria. It's the Rams, and we've already talked about it. Aggressive. Yeah. We know they don't care about picks. They're in win-now mode.
Right.
We know they'll be aggressive to get a pass rusher. Cooper Kupp is now available, so I actually have Cooper Kupp in this deal.
Yeah.
And they have a plethora of young guys who showed some promise on the defensive end that could swap. So this is what I thought made sense, basing it off the Khalil Mack kind of template. Mm-hmm. But I thought the Browns could send Myles a 4th and a 6th to the Rams in exchange for their first this year, a 3rd this year, so they're moving up 13 spots in the middle rounds, a 26 first-round pick, Cooper Kupp and Byron Young. And the thought with Cooper Kupp is, I know he's old, but if you're going to draft a young quarterback, it gives him a security blanket, another weapon to help kind of adjust him to the NFL. And Andrew Berry loves trading for receivers.
This is
all right.
This ain't a bad deal.
The 3rd and 4th round pick is, you're going to get the same player at 90 as 103. I don't know that it really matters.
I'm just trying to put together
complete
based off the
crapshoot there.
Khalil Mack thing. But this feels like about the right value.
I don't even know who Brian Young is.
He had 8 sacks again. He's 23 years old.
All right.
Second-year pass rusher.
All right, I'm in. It's that you.
I take it.
It's a deal. It's a deal.
Wait, let me see them first round. One this year,
2.
one next year.
Yeah,
It's 2 firsts.
Oh yeah, give it to me. I take
A
it.
swap, Byron Young, and then you take on
I take that.
the
deal.
final year of
The sick thing is that
Cooper Kupp to help whatever young quarterback.
The
Just as
sick
another
thing is
option.
the Rams will be dang near Super Bowl contenders.
It depends how.
But it
good
depends
Matthew
on Stafford.
still is.
Yeah.
They look good.
But yeah, I mean, he had his moments.
I just don't understand how they run the same things that the Browns run under Kevin Stefanski, and yet his offense looks so much better. They're like, picture this.
The Browns have Matthew Stafford?
No, but picture this though.
Yeah.
This is. I got to take it back to when
Yeah.
Odell Beckham left this system to go to their system, which is pretty similar. Kevin said, we got to find a way to get him the ball. Sean McVay had this man dang near the MVP of the Super Bowl. Same year. He scored, like 5 straight games, didn't he?
And we couldn't sniff
Same,
none.
and they run similar system.
He had his moments.
Similar system.
His moments there.
I'm just saying.
What?
How? Y'all,
man,
they
look.
have
a
study the
quarterback.
same stuff?
Hey,
Both said it.
They have a quarterback. Matthew Stafford's a Super Bowl level quarterback.
Hey, man. Look. That's why it's unacceptable for anybody to be talking about. We ain't gonna draft a quarterback till next year. No, you better figure it out. Sean McVay figured it out. That's not for. Hey, Jared Goff is figured it out in Detroit. They got rid of him. Why everybody figuring it out except for us, man?
Well, the question is, can you win a Super Bowl with Jared Goff? I think he can.
Yeah.
I think he's the end of the tier.
Yeah. All right, so those are
tier
some
2.
ideas for some Myles Garrett trades.
We'll see.
If we see some other ones, we'll mention
Yeah.
on the show, but I feel like that's a general range of what's a realistic return from Myles. We got one more Myles topic we'll get to after